Hey, ladies and gentlemen, John West, Johnny's Auction, johnnysauction.com. We are doing a quick little video here today because we have got some very special treats that my buddy David Youngquist and I just happened to, actually he did, just went out at random and we went by the vault today and just grabbed 10 guns with the intention of having something on our number 3 auction to soak for a little while before we even list this auction that's coming up this weekend and stuff. And so what happened was he just grabbed a few random guns, and it turns out, just like all the rest, there's some pretty neat stuff. Hi Jacob, hi Debbie, hi TJ. So what we're going to do here, you guys, I'm going to introduce you to my dear friend and military firearm scholar, David Youngquist. Say hi, David.
Hello, David.
There you go. And David's going to talk to you. I'm going to shut up, and he's going to teach you all about these guns, and he'll show me what to close up on them and everything, guys. So just enjoy.
Well, I'll take it from here then, because I'm not used to this, but we'll do our best.
You're on it.
Thank you folks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I've not been on an official video with John prior. I was he caught me when I came in to help out one night after work, so I was in my work togs, so I'm not advertising my company today. But I do enjoy coming down, and I've mentioned before and I've written before that this is an education for me as much as it is for everybody else. These are items that we don't see in private hands. We don't have a chance because they're getting so scarce. And the gentleman that collected these knew what he was doing. He knew what he was looking for, and he collected high quality items that are rare. You don't see stuff like this. I've mentioned before, and John's mentioned before, that there are no import marks on any of these firearms. What we have found, I have found a total of 4 so far, and we've marked them, that have import marks on them. Everything else is clean. These are all bringbacks. They're all like the day they came off the battlefield or were captured, or however you want to word it. So it's been interesting in that respect. It's also been interesting to see the evolution of the Arisaka firearm in Japan, going from a very well-manufactured, well-built piece of military firearm weaponry to being a last-ditch, what we call a last-ditch or a final run, or however you want to word it, tail end of the war, the last 6 months of the war, something you put a bullet in and squeeze a trigger and it goes bang. Yeah. That's basically what they are. By the time you get to that end of it, that's basically what they are. Point it towards the enemy and shoot.
Yep.
That's it. So what we have here, like John was saying, is we went in and we took a break, and we decided, okay, the auction coming up for Saturday is pretty well put to bed. Let's find something for the next one and see what kind of things we have special. One thing that I'm impressed by is we keep coming across these cavalry carbines. Now, these were made in 1905 for 1 year only, and there weren't that many of them made. There were a few made. Everybody's going to say, oh, well, there were almost 500,000 made. Okay, maybe, but still, when you consider the big scheme of things, there's been 6 million AK-47s made over the years. So this is like half a million production line. This one in particular, is another cavalry carbine. It's got the scars on it. It's got a mum, and the mum actually was overstamped at one time. So a little bit of a manufacturing flaw, but it doesn't affect the fireability at all. It adds, if anything, but it doesn't affect any fireability. So we've got several of these, and they just keep coming up with these amazing pieces. So I like these. They're really cool. I didn't even know they existed outside of a museum or a national arsenal. And this one's been inscribed a couple of different times in a couple of different places with the serial number on it, which matches anyway, but somebody went through the trouble of taking their bayonet or their pocket knife and scratching the numbers on it. Yeah. So they know when it goes back together, it's for this gun.
Redundant numbers matching in this case.
Exactly.
Huh.
Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, this is a neat little piece.
Cool beans. What's next? What's next
is a standard Arisaka, 99. The only thing missing on this one is the dust cover. Still in his factory Cosmoline.
Now explain that, because a lot of people don't know what that means.
Okay, Cosmoline, when a firearm goes through manufacture, and primarily military, and it's going to be stored, what they do once they get it assembled is they get a good final cleaning, knock all the chips out of it, assemble it, and then they'll take and they'll smear this, looks like axle grease, okay? Mm-hmm. But they call it Cosmoline. It prevents rust. It keeps things, and you got it up here on this piece. Mm-hmm. It keeps things from rusting. It protects it from dust, dirt, gravel, grime.
Sure.
And my dad was in the Army, and he was in the Army in the late 50s, and when he got his M1 Garand issued to him, it was still had Cosmoline on it, and it had a big tank of diesel fuel. They went out and they switched it in the diesel fuel to get the cosmoline off of it.
Oh, wow.
And then they stripped it down and cleaned it. So that's what it is. It's a preservative.
Okay.
So this Arisaka still has the cosmoline on it. It was made and it was put in an arsenal and is either stored forever or it never was used. The only thing that's missing is the dust cover. The mum is complete, and what's unique about this mum, again, another manufacturing flaw. It's been overstamped.
Wow.
So, you know, whether or not that had any effect on putting it on the line, I don't know. The other thing that's very cool that I like are these anti-aircraft sights. Now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do this in volleyed fire, which means you're supposed to have like 15 of your guys with you standing side by side, lining up the incoming aircraft on these sights with the elevation and putting as many rounds up as you can. It's not the same as a machine gun, but it's still a lot of lead in the air. Mm-hmm. And this one still has a monopod on it.
Nice.
So people think these are bipods for rapid fire. Basically, when your arm gets tired, it takes the place. If you're shooting prone, it takes the place of you holding it up with your elbow. So you put it on the ground and you adjust your targeting in that manner.
Nice.
So
now you said something about that one being a transitional gun.
This one's a transitional gun, I think. I can't verify because they didn't stamp the years it was manufactured, but it's a little crude around here. They didn't have as refined manufacturing in the trigger guard and the strap down here. Mm-hmm. The bolt's a little bit different. Yep. It's complete and it's got the mum and everything, so it could be probably mid-war when they started running out of raw materials.
Sure. One
thing to keep in mind about Japan: Japan does not have that much in the way of natural resources. A firearm like this is probably mid to early war. They were starting to run out of metal, but what they did was they were our biggest scrap metal purchaser,
right,
pre-war. So they used all that scrap metal they bought from us, Model Ts, old cars, old whatever, and turned them into these.
Well,
and so that's why one of the reasons why Japan invaded China was to get its natural resources.
Oh,
so
history, people. We are learning a lot. Hey, I'm not seeing any smiley faces, oh my God faces, thumbs up. We need to see all those kinds of things all the way through this video. We got one of the leading scholars in the entire region, guys, coming after this here. You might want to help out. What do we got here?
If you do. This is an interesting piece too. And again, these are things we just pulled out of the vault just because they caught my attention. What this is a Belgian Mauser. It's got King Leopold's stamp on it. So you've got the official royal crest on it.
King Leopold.
Made by Fabrique Nationale, FN.
Show them that.
Made by Fabrique Nationale. So it's made by FN.
Okay.
And what these rifles are is stamped 1951 as well. They made it from 1951 to 1952. They only made it 2 years. This is a rifle that was copied off of the Mauser. It's 30-06, which means that it is an American cartridge, an American caliber in a German-European rifle, made in Belgium. So it's this conglomeration of different things. The numbers match on it, which is also interesting. You matching bolt, matching serial number. You got the bolt number there, and then you got the number up here. So the numbers match, but it was a transitional firearm before they started making the Fin Foul, which is a semi-automatic rifle with a 15 round magazine. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Why is it black colored?
It's interesting. They differentiated between Army issue and Navy issue. The black stocks were Army issue. The gray stocks were Navy issue.
So that's not somebody did after the fact. That was how they issued them.
This is how they issued them. This came out of the arsenal this way. So, and then as time progressed, if you look, they went from this bolt action 8mm to a 30 caliber right here to another 30 caliber semi-automatic rifle, and the semi-automatic rifle was black too.
Oh,
so
nice.
It looks like it set a trend.
And we got a cameo by Puss Puss. She went by in the background.
There you go.
So the video's complete.
The video is complete. The cat's in it.
I think this is cool. Tell us about this one.
This one is really interesting. This is what they call a Murata.
This was on it out of the arsenal.
This was on it out of the arsenal, right? And we decided to honor the gentleman's provenance and not remove this. If the buyer decides they want to, that's completely up to them. What this is, it's a Murata Type 13 1870 single shot bolt action cartridge rifle.
Wow.
11mm black powder fired. So it's a transitional weapon. It was before the Mauser, Mauser Works in Germany introduced their first Mauser in 1871. This one was constructed and patented in 1870. So they're on the same level. What's really interesting about this is the first indigenous-made, first rifle made in Japan that was issued to Japanese troops.
Wow.
Prior to this, what they did was they bought them from all over the world. United States, they had the Springfields, the trapdoor Springfields, percussion caps. They bought them from Europe, but this is the first rifle made in Japan for Japanese troops and issued that way. So it saw action in the Russian-Japanese War in 1904, 1905. And then they were declared obsolete because by then Mauser had really kicked up their production and created their iconic bolt rifle,
Right.
which the Japanese copied and turned into the Arisaka.
Yes.
So this is another interesting transitional rifle. Sometimes these rifles, after the war, were sold to civilians who then took the barrel off, put a 12-gauge shotgun barrel on it, and had, a hunting gun.
And we have those.
And we have some of those. We finally identified them. It took us forever to figure out what this is. What's interesting here, you still have the Emperor's Mum, which the Arisakas all carry, and then you have all the information here, all in Japanese letters, of course. So it's a really neat little piece of history.
Oh boy.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, John Jackson, how are you, brother? Jesse, Wesley, thanks guys for watching. Lots of thumbs up and oh my God faces, guys. Just fill that screen if you wouldn't mind. Let David know he's being appreciated here. There's some great stuff we're learning.
Okay. Now, this one's unique too. This is a nice little heavy. To me, they're heavy. And modern soldiers would find these things to be really heavy and really stout. What this is, it's a German, Czech-made German occupation rifle, which is a Mauser 98 G3340. And what these are basically a K98 shortened down to carbine length, and they were issued to mountain troops out through the alpine footings and mountains up through all over Europe. That's what these guys carried. The reason they got these instead of the K98s is they're smaller, they're shorter, they're lighter.
Wesley Wells, go to the auction site, johnnysauction.com. It's right on the top of the ad on the information we put on the video. Everybody needs to know that. All information is on the auction site. We have an auction this Saturday. Go to johnnysauction.com. Catalog's up and ready. Sorry.
No problem. Hey, you're the one that's finding all this stuff. I'm more than happy to.
So that's a super rare. No, we've sold some K98. We sold K98 in the first auction that went ballistic.
Yeah.
We got one in this auction or two in this auction. Are probably gonna do the same.
Yep.
This one's gonna go in the third auction, and this is probably the rarest of all of them.
It is very rare, and it was manufactured in 1941, as you can see there, and it's got the Nazi proof marks there.
Okay, hold on. I want to get closer on that so you guys can see that. Okay.
And then over on this side, there's two Nazi proof marks there. So it was manufactured in Czechoslovakia by Bruno, and proofed with the Nazi proof. So it made their specifications.
Nice. Awesome stuff.
Now this one really caught my eye, and one reason it caught my eye is because it's got muzzle brake up there, and it's a very long rifle,
Yeah.
and it's got that funky sight.
That's cool.
I could see this sticking out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what is that? So what we did was we pulled it out, and we thought, oh boy, this is either going to be something exciting good or exciting bad.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know exactly what it was at first. I originally thought it was the German automatic rifle, and it's not. This is a Swedish AG. Let me get my notes.
Yeah, grab your notes. Yeah. What a neat find.
Yeah.
And these were literally, when we went to the vault today, they were literally pulled out at random.
Yeah, we did. We just, whatever caught our eyes, we just popped them. This is an AG. Oh, now I forgot it again. AG M42. And basically what it is, it's a semi-automatic rifle produced in the late 40s, early 50s. I take that back. It was produced in the 40s during World War II in Sweden. And what they were was they were a gas-powered, a gas-fed semi-automatic rifle, 10-round box magazine. And they were given to Norwegian troops to train with during the war, and then they took them back to Norway after the Germans surrendered. It fires the same round as the German Mauser, or
Okay.
not German Mauser, Swedish Mauser,
Okay.
6.5 by 50, 6.5 by 55. Sorry.
It's all right.
Now what they did at
Hey,
that
Meryl.
time is they used them after the war. They used them as you know, for the Norwegian troops, for their own troops, but they found some flaws with it. And what they did, they found that the gas pin that's up in here would corrode, and they found that the shell casing would bounce back in your face, or they would drop in and they would jam. So what they did was they took a certain number of these, and there was only 4,000 of these made, I believe.
Period. 4,000 to begin with.
Yeah, 4,000 beat. Let me look. I wrote
Okay,
it down.
that's
I did write
fine.
it down. I'm sorry, 30,000. There are only 30,000 of these ever made.
Okay.
And so what they did was they took the best ones and they refit them at the arsenal, and they added these. And they added the brass kicker, and they replaced this tube inside the gas tube. They replaced the rod with the stainless steel rod so it wouldn't corrode and it would still function.
And this rifle one of those that's been upgraded?
Yes, this has been upgraded.
Wow.
So this has actually been improved upon from the original design.
Wow.
So it's heavy and it's long, but it was one of the first semi-automatic rifles made outside of the M1 Garand.
Jeez.
So, and you can
Original
see,
sling and everything on
yeah,
that.
the slings are original on it. All the clips are there. So it's a really nice piece.
Cool.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. It's got the elevation adjustment on this side here
Sure.
with the knob, so you can adjust up and down.
And this is exactly how it came out of the collection, guys, in extraordinary condition.
Yeah.
All this gun, every gun from this collection, it is just in extraordinary overall condition,
Okay.
with very few exceptions.
Yeah. They're
Oh, I want to make a note too on that last gun. We have boxes and boxes of magazines.
Yeah.
And if I will tell the buyer of that, if the buyer of that keeps in touch with us when we bring out the magazines, if we have the magazine for that gun, if we don't find it before sale day, which is that sale is going to be the 18th of July or 18th of May, I'm sorry. If we don't find it before then if we find one after, I'm going to give it to the buyer of the gun.
Right. Which is a great way to do it because, I mean, they're not common, obviously. And
But I want them to have the original. I don't want to have to buy a
the
repop.
original would be cool. The original would be very cool. And like you said, there's boxes of magazines out there.
Yep. What do we got here?
This is a VZ-52 semi-automatic rifle made in Czechoslovakia after World War II, made in the 50s. So it's Soviet era. Semi-automatic rifle again. You can see the evolution of firearms in this collection because they're going from the bolt actions to semi-autos, from the M1 Garand to the M1A1. This is similar to M1A1, similar to the AK-47, and it's just the total evolution of firearms throughout the world, which is really cool. Again, semi-automatic rifle, fires a 7mm round, short, very light.
Fold down bayonet.
Yep, fold down bayonet. It's got the sling that came with it. Now this one isn't complete. It's missing a few parts. What you can do, in my opinion, and what I've done before in the past, is take them to a gunsmith that you trust and that you know, and they can repair it for you. That's gunsmith's jobs. That's what they love to do.
Nothing's broken. It's just missing a couple.
It's just missing a couple. Nothing's broken. It's just missing a couple pieces that'll make it fire. And I recommend any kind of military firearm that you purchase, you have a smith look at anyway,
Sure.
just to make sure that when you pull the trigger, it goes bang and not boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, that's kind of the way I look at it.
Appreciate all you guys watching. If you feel inclined, please hit some thumbs ups and oh my God faces. Fill the screen with big cool stuff, guys, so that David knows we appreciate him.
Yeah.
This is a great video. It's going to go viral, guys. Good information here. This is just 10 random guns.
Yep.
Look at this one. This one right here is my favorite that he's going to talk about right now.
This one I love. I have a Mosin Nagant myself at home that I shoot, and I absolutely love it. This is a 91 bolt action, obviously, 7.62 by 54 rimmed cartridge. What I love about this one, all the American ones all the ones you buy now, all have the stars ground off. They have import stamps on it and import numbers. This one has the star and the date on it.
Wow.
And it has it on all the pieces. It has the Soviet star on all the pieces. It's got it on the bolt.
Hold on here. We'll make sure we show them all that. Yes.
It's got it on...
Other side.
Got it on the stock. All the numbers match.
All matching with the stars.
Stars numbers on this one. This rifle...
Hold still.
Whoops, sorry.
Doing a video here, man.
Yeah, no, sorry. But this rifle is very impressive. That means that it came here prior to the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Wow.
Which wasn't allowed, period. If you could find a Soviet rifle or any kind of Soviet firearm prior to the fall of the Berlin Wall, it was a combat capture, or it was a museum piece,
Wow.
which was also a combat capture.
Right.
And so basically this one with the star on it, stamped 1935, my guess, and this is just an educated guess, it's not
Sure.
confirmed, don't take me to the bank on it, but probably the most common way that this was found was a Vietnam vet collected it
Sure.
and had it sent home. The Soviets weren't supposed to be sending guns to the south for North Vietnam. They were supposed to stay out of it, but you know how things go in that respect. So my guess would be this was captured in Vietnam and sent home by a vet from there.
Nice.
And it's just a beautiful piece. It's in wonderful condition.
Sure is.
I would like I would say I'd have a gunsmith look at it, but I don't. Just looking at it and knowing my own rifle, this is in as good condition as mine, and I know that mine is a very accurate, functioning piece.
Nice.
So yeah, this is a beautiful piece. I love this. So
Yeah, it shows.
yeah,
What's next?
this one is a bit of a unique Arisaka. This is a M30. There weren't many of these made. It's got the hook. It's got the hook on the
That's
on the
important.
back of the bolt.
Yep.
And what these are is they're an artillery model. They're an artillery carbine. Short version, very light, very handy. And when you are firing big cannon pieces, you need something in case you get overrun or you have to defend yourself. And these were issued to artillery troops. So it's a really neat piece. It's got the mum on it. No, I don't remember if the numbers match on this one or not.
Something I learned when some of the first people called us,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who think this stock is broken, but
Yeah.
every one of the Arisaka stocks are separated right there. That's exactly where the joint is.
Right.
And so nobody is even slightly concerned about that because it's not a break. It's actually where they put them together.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
how they built the stock.
Yep. It's just different. Different countries manufacture their firearms differently.
Yep.
We make ours made ours out of one piece. The Japanese use two. It doesn't detract from the value of the rifle
Not at all.
But yeah, this is a really neat little piece. It's light, it's handy, and it mounts up well. And that little hook just really interests me rather than a great big knob. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
So, all right, and one more. Now, after World War II, we had a lot of these rifles that came back. One thing I want to mention, when on the listing, we'll note on there whether the mum is complete and intact or if it's been ground off. That does make a difference. This rifle itself, the mum has been ground off. Now, there's two reasons, and I've been doing some research on this. I knew the first one. The first one was the Emperor himself put out word that if you surrender and you surrender your firearm, you are not to, because the Emperor was divine, and you were not to dishonor the Emperor by turning in one of his divine private pieces. So in order to do that, you filed off or welded off or did whatever and removed the mum. Now, MacArthur, being MacArthur and knowing the Japanese mind well, when he had a whole bunch of captured rifles or surrendered rifles, and they had train cars full of them, MacArthur himself ordered the mum to be ground off as well to save face for the Emperor, so the transition to peacetime would go much more smoothly. So when World War II ended, and they shipped these Arisakas back. They shipped them back as captured. They put them in hardware stores, Sears, Kmart's, everything else, and they sold them out of a barrel. But they were all defaced. They all had the mum defaced. So what a lot of people did was they went and they bought these rifles, and they did what has been done here. Now, this does not function in the shooting of the rifle. It doesn't change at all, other than the fact that this was probably done in the 50s or 60s, and somebody took it to a gunsmith. And they had the barrel shortened, obviously. So what you have is a very short carbine, and they moved the front sight to the barrel band, and then they took and they put a Lyman peep sight on it. Now, I've shot a lot of peep sights. I prefer those over. I prefer peep sights over the V sights. And the Lyman is a very accurate peep sight. So what they did was they basically made just a knock-around rifle to take with them, go hunting or whatever, or just target shooting. But this was very common back in the 50s and into the 60s. But it was a captured rifle, and or a surrendered rifle, and they ground it off. Now, if you find an Arisaka that has the mum, and then we'd have a couple of them over here.
We got lots and lots
We
and
got
lots
lots of them with mums. One thing to keep in mind about that is the fact that those were captured on the battlefield and sent home. They were either taken off a dead enemy soldier or taken off the battlefield themselves or taken away from the soldier by American forces and sent home. And the mum wasn't ground off. The mum was intact.
You were mentioning that with this particular gentleman's collection, that is something that he really, really was into, was the vet bringbacks, and that the majority of everything in this entire collection is of that nature.
Almost everything I've seen, of everything that I've seen so far, and I haven't seen the whole collection.
Neither way.
But almost all of the Arasakas I've seen so far have the mum intact, which is an extreme rarity because of this. Because you could go down to Sears and buy one for $5 with the mum ground off in 1955 and do whatever you wanted to it.
Sure.
Whereas something like with the mum, with the dust cover, with all the matching numbers, you know someone died holding that thing.
Yeah.
And the soldier, the American soldier, British soldier, whoever, the American soldier took it home with him, or took it off the field with him and sent it home.
Cool.
So that's the main difference, and he's got a lot of them here.
Great. So, David, thank you very much. All these guns are going into auction number 3, so that'll be May 18th. Okay, and I'm going to take 2 seconds. Everybody, say thank you, David, and type in thank you, David, and lots of thumbs up, smiley faces, and
Thanks,
we're going to say goodbye to David. I'm going to give you a less than 3-minute tour of the guns coming up in this auction on this Saturday. Johnny'sAuction.com. Go to Johnny'sAuction.com. Here comes a quick tour. Just in case you're wondering if we actually have very many, I will inform you that there are on the catalog, and all these are on our catalog right now at Johnny'sAuction.com. This is all coming up this Saturday at Johnny'sAuction.com. Okay? And some stuff I don't want to put on video on Facebook. All kinds of neat stuff here, guys. Just gonna pan right through, guys. It's going quick. You got to go to the catalog and watch. We'll do another video. Don't worry. I'm just going really, really quick because I wanted you to see what's going on for Saturday really fast. We have some stuff, guys, and we've got 400 and almost 450 lots coming up in Saturday's auction, and it is going to be absolutely insane, guys. Don't miss it. Johnny'sAuction.com. I got one more place I'm going to take you really quick. And we're going to come down here. I'm going really, really quick. Ooh, neat stuff there. Neat stuff there. Neat stuff there. And right over here, there's Brian. Everybody say hi, Brian. There's Brian. Brian's actually wearing a Hitler Youth cap this auction. So when you come by, he'll be in his nice personal Hitler Youth cap. And then that's also, all of these are also going to be in the auction. This moss right here will be in the auction. It's all on the catalog at Johnny'sAuction.com. And there's lots and lots and lots of things coming up in the future, guys. So stay with us. Stay with us. Lots of stuff coming up. Lots of stuff coming up. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching. Take care. Johnny'sAuction.com.